Come on, comrades! He's a man, not a god! Come on, comrades! He's a man, not a god! Kill that man! He's a man, not a god! Oh gosh. I remember how Angry Joe was saying that from the Rambo video game. You guys remember that game? That was a long time ago. And that game sucked. Real bad. So anyways, welcome to my channel, guys. This is Kaiju 2014-117. So today I'm not going to be talking about Rambo the video game, but I am talking today for a Rambo related review today. So I'm going to be talking about Rambo Last Blood, the recent Rambo movie that just came out this week. So I was originally planning to do a skip, but because everyone's tight schedule today, so I'm just going to make a quick review. But as well, I'm also going to do a quick overall series of the Rambo. So if you already know, before Rambo Last Blood, there were actually 4 Rambo films. The first one is First Blood. Second is Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, and Rambo 2008. So I'm a huge Rambo fan. I like Sylvester Stallone. I like him from those action movies, even from that time. Now, I wasn't born in the 80s. I was born from the 90s, but I do like one of those films. My father introduced me to these films, and I was like, yay, it was an awesome action flick. Yes, so let's talk about the overall series first of all. So let's talk about the First Blood. So First Blood was based from the novel book called First Blood. Now the only difference is how it ends. The book, well actually before I start anything, there are going to be some spoilers for the Rambo series. If you have not seen Rambo, I recommend seeing it, especially the recent film. But I will talk about that in a moment. So just give you guys a heads up, this is going to be spoiler sections for first, second, third, and fourth, and then of course the 5th film. However, the 5th film I will probably save it later on. But anyways, let's talk about the First Blood. So basically, if you've seen the film, you know at the end Rambo survived. But in the book, Rambo did not survive. Rambo died, actually. So that was quite a different taste. I was like, oh, okay. But overall, let's talk about the first film. I liked the first film a lot, and I give that movie an 8 out of 10 because of how the story is, how it feels like for being a veteran who feels appreciated from his own country. And I can understand that, and that's actually really hurtful to see how a veteran has to suffer against the country that he fought for, don't even appreciate him. Especially that jerk from his own town, the sheriff, which is Sheriff Teasel. That guy was a real jerk, and he's a big a-hole, you may say. Now anyways, what the film does right is how Sylvester Stallone portrays as John Rambo as a PTSD veteran who seems to be suffering. But he's not just only a veteran, he's also a Green Beret, part of the strong units, and they're also an awesome unit. Well, not just saying awesome like saying, oh my gosh, it's awesome. What I'm saying is because these guys are tough, these guys are expert, these guys are trained to do what is necessary. Anyways, the film itself in First Rambo just basically talks about how he has to survive against the country that he wants to protect that's trying to go against him. Unfortunately, the only person who he trusts and the person who knows Rambo the most is Colonel Samuel Trotman. Now that guy is the most reasonable colonel you will ever have and you like the most. Because of him, he was able to stop Rambo from becoming a psychopath and calm Rambo down. And that leads to the second film, Rambo First Blood Part 2. So basically the best way for him to cut his sentence is to go back to the mission in Vietnam. His original mission was supposed to be a reconnaissance, or basically to take pictures of the empty village. What turns out to be not an empty village. It turns out that these Viet Congs were over there taking the American prisoners, mostly the United States veterans. And actually, I like that film a lot. I gave the movie at least an 8 out of 10 as well, because that movie was extremely action. Now, I know many people, including Rotten Tomatoes, hate the film, but the film is action-packed. If you guys want action-packed film, that is the film you should be watching, because it is really good. I gotta tell you that. Everyone back in the time, including my father, loves Rambo First Blood Part 2. Even my father considered it his #1 film than Rambo First Blood. Anyways, let's cut to Rambo 3. Now, Rambo 3 is about the story after Rambo completes his mission from the second film. He's just want to live a normal life, but he's not living in the United States because ever since how American government also backstabbed him in the back in this second film, he feels that the government doesn't want him, so he just stays in other countryside. So he was living around somewhere in Thailand or Burma around the time. So he is just living a normal life until Colonel Truman asked him to come join him on a mission to go to Afghanistan. At that time, I believe there were some Afghanistan soldiers that were allies to the United States, but it was tricky. But of course, Rambo refuses. Then Colonel Truman went to the mission by himself, but of course he got caught. And then when the government calls Rambo to let him know about the situation, he decided to go save his friend. So the first three films, the first movie, Rambo fought to survive. Second, Rambo fought for his country. Third, Rambo fought for his friend. So that's kind of the general story for Rambo. And I like Rambo 3, but I feel it's not one of my most favorite. I feel it's one of the films that is okay, I'll accept that. Now, we have Rambo 2008. Oh my gosh, I think that movie I'm gonna give at least, I almost want to give it a 9 out of 10, but I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Oh wait, I almost forgot Rambo 3. I've gotta give it at least somewhere between 6 to 7 out of 10. I'm still debating, so probably about 7 out of 10. But for Rambo 2008, it's definitely an 8 out of 10. The reason why is because the movie was so intense. The way how Rambo fight these guys and how he blew up those Burmese soldiers. Now, in a ways, so basically it's about him living his normal life until the American church charities went to Burma to try to sell the good deeds, trying to give him medicines or hope. Fortunately, Rambo already told them this is not a good idea. You need to have weapons to defend yourself against Burma soldiers, because if you probably haven't heard or know, there are some things happening that's a lot worse that's happening in America. Especially their own government doesn't even care for their own people, which is a very sad thing. But anyways, Rambo just trying to warn them. They still refuse, so he still takes them there, even so he already warned them, because they're pretty convincing in a way. And afterwards, after what they have seen, Rambo decided to help them out, bring a couple mercenaries to take out Burmese soldiers. Yeah, and that movie was intense. The way how he used the guns, especially the big MG with the 50 cal, blow these guys to bits. And it is one of the most bloodiest movies I've ever seen out of all Rambo. So that's why I gave this an 8 out of 10, because it's an actually intense film. And then afterwards, at the end, Rambo finally comes home to America where he was supposed to live, and saying that his father maybe still be around, so that's why he went to his father's home. And afterwards, he walked all the way to the distance to see his home. And I thought Rambo 2008 was a perfect ending when the long shot pulls him out. Because in the first film, in First Blood, there's a road, empty road, and you see John Rambo walking down the street, coming towards the camera. And then in Rambo 2008, we see the camera pulling away as Rambo walking towards the house and away from the camera. And I feel like that should have been a perfect ending. I feel Rambo 2008 was the perfect ending for Rambo series. Until Rambo Last Blood. So, let's talk about the film. I don't hate the film, actually. I actually personally enjoyed this film a lot more than Angel Has Fallen. But I still like John Wick Chapter 3 more than Rambo Last Blood. Now, here are some few things what I like about this film. The film, I like how it starts off slow, how he is living in a normal life, how he has a family he never even knew, until things get a little escalated when one of his family members went to Mexico to find one of her family members. And then turns out there was some bad parts in Mexico that have all the gangs over there, and then they took his family, so he has to go all the way to get his family member out of it. So I will give a spoiler section after I give my overall thoughts. Okay? So anyways, that's what I like about it. Starting from slow, then starting from big, and then something bigger. And then I like how the action from the film is intense. However, if you're wondering which has better violence or has least violence, I would say The Last Blood has less kills though. But the violence is still intense though. It feels like bone crunching, which it's in there actually. And I kind of feel I like Rambo's character because I like Sylvester Stallone's Rambo character because he shows to be happy. And then if you take something away from him, of course he goes really dark, and he will do anything it takes to save someone he cares. And I know because I'm one of the family man. Now, there are some few things that I feel that could have improved, but I'm gonna save that for a spoiler section. So, what do I think about The Last Blood? Is it a worthy sequel to Rambo? I'm gonna give it's an okay sequel for a follow-up, but I feel it should have ended with Rambo. And should we expect another sequel for Last Blood? That one I will tell that in the spoiler sections, but I feel we shouldn't have to see another Rambo because, first of all, Sylvester Stallone is getting really old. I'm not saying in offense, but I'm just saying it's one of the few actors who are still staying strong, but yet it's not. I don't know how long or how many years they're gonna keep doing this because they're not gonna be invincible forever though. But anyways, I'll give my overall thoughts of the film. I'm giving this film at least it's really hard to say. It's like Rambo 3, but I kind of prefer this one than Rambo 3. But I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 as it's a good film. Now, you may not agree, you may disagree with me, it's fine because you're not much of a Sylvester Stallone fan, I can understand that. Or you are a Rambo fan, but you feel that it is not a good franchise, then it's understandable. But anyways, that's my overall thoughts. Now, I'm going to go into a spoiler sections to say what I like about and what I hate about. So I'm going to count down in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, spoiler sections on. If you don't want spoilers, you can leave. If not, you can stay here and enjoy yourself. Grab a popcorn if you want to. Now, what I like about the film is how John started to feel like he's at home again with all his family members he has, with his niece, Gabrielle. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce that correctly. But anyways, as they were living at peace, Gabrielle's friend told her that she was able to find her father in Mexico. So Gabrielle wants to go see him. Unfortunately, John and her grandma told her no because that man means nothing to her because he's not even a father because he hasn't taken care of her ever since her mother died. Of course, the logical, she refuses and went to Mexico. And then her friend, well, I think she called her her best friend, lead her to find her father. And guess what? Her father is a huge jerk. He was such, pardon my language, actually I'll just say it, an asshole in a way. And I just, oh my gosh. And I really want to punch his face, or at least let Rambo punch his face. He actually almost did, but he only gave him a threat. That's it. Afterwards, her best friend turns out to be a traitor. She is such a traitor that she sold her out. And then luckily, not luckily, then afterwards it's just one of the worst things I've ever seen. Then Rambo figured out that Gabrielle went to Mexico. He went all the way over there to save her. So he started finding her father and then her friend. And when he found her friend, he realized that she's wearing a bracelet that belongs to her, which belongs to her deceased mother. And he already knows that she sold her out. Afterwards, Rambo went to go find Gabriella. He found one of the people who sold her to human trafficking. And then that's when a lot of crazy stuff happens. Now, I will say this. The bad guys were able to trap him and corner him down. And I'm sorry if my dogs are screaming and yelling. It is just... Pause it. Alright, sorry for a little interruption. So anyways, I feel that that the only thing I hate is how the bad guys are being so generic. So basically, we got one of the Mexican drug cartels who are involved with drugs and human trafficking, which personally I hate. And then they decided to let Rambo live so he can suffer, so they can do whatever they want with his niece. Seriously, the older brother already told, or not too sure they're older or younger, or they're probably twins, but one of the brothers said like, just kill him, man. But he said, no, I just want him to suffer. And because of it, he didn't listen to his brother's advice. They should have just killed him. And also in real life, I don't think anyone would let someone, I mean, I'm pretty sure some would think that way, but still. But I'm not saying, but just to be aware, like that's how movie logic is. And of course, the next thing we know, Rambo was able to get Gabrielle out of there, but she got overdosed with drugs, so she passed away. Then afterwards, Rambo wants revenge, and he prepared his home for his own battlefield against those cartels. And he got wounded during the battle, but he was able to survive long enough to kill all these guys and rip out the guy's heart. Yep. He literally ripped his heart out. And I gotta say, that was probably the most satisfying thing I've looked forward to with those jackasses. But anyways, he would have died though. But unfortunately, you see at the end, you see he's bleeding out, laying in the chair and rocking. And then afterwards, if you stay for the mid-credit, he's riding on a horse and then going to wherever he's going while he's still bleeding out. I was like, that should have been a perfect ending for him to die. It's called The Last Blood. Are we going to continue his story? Come on, what else is he going to protect anymore? And he couldn't even protect his own niece. Well, he tried, but it's just, yeah, I'm sure that's why people are triggered, because of how the story is. And then what else that I don't like about? Oh, the only thing is they don't have that much kills in there. I mean, there's plenty of brutality kills, but I feel they kind of dial it down. So it's kind of like in this way. First Blood has about 2 to 3 or maybe 4 kills, but I don't think it's that many kills. And then we have Last Blood kills. Then we have Rambo Part 2 kills, and then we have Rambo 3 kills, and then the very top, Rambo 2008 probably has the most brutal kill we have ever seen. Yes. But anyways, like I said, the film was good in general. But the only thing is what bugs me is just those things that I mentioned for the spoilers. Now, I know many people saying, or some of the critics are saying that it's being racist to Mexico because they're saying like Mexicans are bad guys. Now, honestly, first of all, I'm not supporting the film because of that. Because I support the film because I enjoy the entertainment. But it's not because of what has happened. And besides, it's not what the film's talking about. The film's talking about is how there are some bad parts in Mexico you do not want to mess with, because they tend to do bad things. And especially human trafficking still exists to this day. Not just in Mexico, even in Asia. But I'm not too sure what exactly the critics are saying. Okay? And if you disagree, I can understand. But I'm not saying that I support the film because of that. I support the film because I thought the film was entertaining, and as well to show the message that when your family members warned you not to do something or warned you not to go to one of the family members who don't need you, take their advice. That's one thing I like about the film. It's just not just all that. It's also a life lesson that you have to listen to your family. Otherwise, not only would you suffer, but you let your family suffer. But anyways, guys, that's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please comment down below what you like about it. If you don't feel it's accurate, then let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell for new updated videos, okay? Anyways, I'll hope to talk to you guys soon. Sorry, my English is kind of going off today. Anyways, this is Kaiju 2014-117 signing off.